Welcome to Ecclesia Principles, a biblical strategy for believers to engage in God's design for government with Ray Eppard.
Hello, glad you could join us again today. We've been talking about the jurisdictions that God has established, and this week we've been looking at Romans 13:1, and I want to look at again Romans 13:1 part A. Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities. Those governing authorities are really the jurisdictions that God has established. That's why he references let every soul be subject. That means king, president, Congress, Senate, whole nine yards. Judges, everything should be subject to those jurisdictions. And our founding fathers did their best to create that type of scenario. Again, especially with the Bill of Rights, Congress shall pass no law. And then they list all the different limits on government protecting these governing authorities. Self-government, family government, church government, or the principles of faith. But with this, there's so much discussion and argument today about really where were the founding fathers coming from. And you see, if you would, we really have two founding documents. The Declaration of Independence, which very many people today are starting to say, well, that is not, that's not a part of our government. Well, it's not a part of the Constitution, but it is a founding document that everything else was based off of. And so it does have weight. It is the declaration of our purpose and reason for being. Much like a corporation, you establish your bylaws and you state your purpose and reason of existence. That's our declaration. Constitution is how we're going to function. Now, with this, a lot of people, because we have so many that are anti-Christian today, that they really push out everything because, well, you know, in the Constitution, if they were basing this off of biblical truths, then they wouldn't have said this. Well, you see, the thing of it is, here's the best way to look at this. In a nation, not everyone's going to love God. Not everyone's going to serve God. But just because they don't, they do not lose their unalienable rights. Those rights have still been given to them by God. Adam and Eve in the garden were given the right to eat of the tree. They had dominion over the tree. But they were given instructions by God to not eat of the tree. In their jurisdiction, in their stewardship, they disobeyed God. Now, you see, if you would, the Declaration of Independence is an expression of faith in all reality. These truths we hold to be self-evident. We're created by God. We're given unalienable rights by God. But then in the Constitution, Congress shall make no law establishing religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So therefore, they gave room for people to be non-Christians because that's an unalienable right for them to make their own choice in self-government. That is a biblical principle. They gave freedom of speech because that's an aspect of self-government. But people can say the wrong things, and they will be accountable for what they say. But those things were put out there because those were unalienable rights, which comes back to the very basics. When they asked them, they said the government we established is only really workable for a religious and moral people. And see, a lot of our problems today really stems from a lack of spirituality. is because we have so many that are not wanting to obey God. It's creating a whole lot of problems with their unalienable rights. We have to have a revival. God bless you. See you next week.
You've been listening to Ecclesia Principles with Ray Eppard. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook on our Ray Eppard pages. This program was brought to you by Victory Worship Center and World Outreach. Services Sunday 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 200 Hammond Lane, Stanton, Virginia.